What is up? Good morning. Welcome to the NBA Rundown. Good afternoon if you're on the East Coast, right? It's afternoon for you, right, JC? Bright and early for me here on the West Coast, and I'm excited to talk some NBA with the biggest Pat Bev fan in the world. How we doing, JC?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Incredible betting weekend for me. Like I just couldn't lose, man. I'm on a heater like none other, and we're gonna see if I can keep it rolling today.
Well, then that's a great time because a lot of people don't know. Tell everyone about the hockey show real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So me, Nate Defy, Matty Ice, our boy Tanner Smith, we got a show like the NBA Rundown, but for hockey. We've been on the bets channels, but now we just got moved up big time. We're on the main channel here. So
you got called up to the majors?
Yeah, man. We're in the show.
Congratulations.
So Tuesdays and Thursdays at, I believe, 3 Eastern, and then Saturdays, 9 a.m. Eastern, breaking down the whole NHL slate. We got the betting takes, the DFS. So we're giving hockey some love here at Run Pure.
All right. Love to see it because that's one thing that we had been lagging on for a while as we continue to really just improve the content we're bringing to everyone. Of course, you know, we're subscription-based content. RunPureSports.com. Head on over there. Join the movement. But it's definitely worth the amount of money. But we're doing it here for the free for the people, right? So we're not hiding everything behind the paywall. I think we have a pretty good balance here. I mean, we give out a lot of stuff. Like on this NBA rundown today, we're going to go over every single game. But the first thing I'd like to do is I got a victory lap last week. I finally got you.
You did.
The Rockets barely covered. It was, you know, I had a little bit of luck involved, but we got that. So. But let me get your takeaways from the thoughts for the weekend because we were joking. We finally got you on the thumbnail for the YouTube channel, right?
We did.
Who's with you? Kevin Durant. And that has to be the biggest news of the weekend, the fact that he's going to be out for at least 2 weeks. And that was always a concern when you're betting Nets futures and I would say Clippers futures is these guys are older and they've had an injury history. Now, where the Nets, I think it's really disappointing is this team was on a roll, right? I mean, you could find it, you know, Boston had slipped up a little bit. Milwaukee hadn't been playing well lately. Brooklyn just goes up the standings. They finally go a month and a half without any sort of drama, right? They won 12 in a row. I actually had them last night in this game, and I was disappointed when Durant went down. That was a tough one for me. However, it's got big news on the Eastern Conference. How do you think this injury affects Kevin Durant?
Yeah, it's tough to say. It is because, I mean, like, you're right. They were an incredible team. You could just lock them in to win every night. Really unexpected to see that level of success out of them. You kind of just always felt like there was going to be a hang up there in Brooklyn. But, I mean, that's just got to be devastating for the franchise and the fans to, like, finally look like this is it. Like, you guys have it. And then to have Durant ripped out. I mean, luckily, like I said, it shouldn't be too long. So in the long term, I think they'll be fine. But it's just one of those things. They find a new groove. Then Durant comes back. Can they just continue playing like they were in December? I don't know. You never know with these things. But if I was a betting man, which I am, I think they'll be just fine.
Okay, so you think they'll be fine. I'm interested to see how this team looks without Durant in there. Obviously, Kyrie Irving, pretty good scoring. He's more streaky, though. I think Durant is more reliable to get you there night in and night out. I also think he does a lot of things for this team, whatever they need that night. Oh, we need rebounding tonight? Let me get down low.
Yeah.
We need an extra wing defender? Yeah, I'll jump in and I'll up the intensity on the defensive end for a little bit. You know, you need me to move to be without the ball. Kyrie's on a heater. I'll feed him and get, 10 or 11 assists off easy bounce passes. So really tough for the Brooklyn Nets and just for the NBA in general. I've said it before. The way the game is played now, the 82 game schedule is ridiculous. So,
you know what else I learned this weekend?
What?
I think I got better handles than Rudy Gobert.
Okay.
Did you see that clip?
I can't even argue. No, which one? I didn't have power all weekend. I missed a lot.
Right. When they played the Clippers, he like tried to go coast to coast, and it was the most awkward ball handling I've ever seen. And he does it. He gets down low, and he I don't know why, but he goes for a layup. Like I don't remember who was underneath the basket. He easily could have just dunked on him, but he went for a layup and missed. And it was just the worst piece of basketball I'd ever seen. And I'm like, I'm a tall guy. I don't really have the best handles. Wasn't part of my game I developed. But holy cow, I could have done better than Rudy Gobert on that one.
Poor Rudy, man. This is just such a terrible fit for him. And with the amount that they gave up, he's going to become the scapegoat because now they don't have a lot of flexibility to fix the situation they're in. So I know that they all hate him at Run Pier. And I know that's a lot fantasy based because like affecting a shot where you don't get a block, that doesn't count in fantasy. In real life, it counts for a lot, when you're affecting all these shots. But the way that the defensive system is working now, he's not able to do that. Plus, people know to bring him out. That's why I said the game's changed. The game's changed. This isn't John Stockton dribbling down the court, throwing an entry pass into Karl Malone, watching him work down the post, everybody boxes out. No, I mean, these guys are flying up and down the court. Anyways, that's enough of that. Anything else that you took away from this weekend's games? Like I said, I missed a lot. I had Power Saturday, so I was able to watch the NFL and the NBA on Saturday. It dumped out on me Saturday night, so I missed all Sunday until Sunday night football. And then I had a little bit of the Nets on, and I had the evening game, the Clippers and the Hawks, and the Clippers. Unbelievable. What do you think about them? I know you're president of Pat Bev fan club. He's a former Clipper.
He is.
This is a disappointing team. They should have won that game against Atlanta last night. They should have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also too, it's kind of like last Monday. I came on here and said Clips to win. They got a clean injury report, and Kawhi was late to scratch. They said it was due to illness. Who knows? But it's just hard. It's so hard because the potential is there, right? Like all those years of us just being bad, like you can just accept that. But like we have flashes of greatness, and it's just that. It's flashes. There's no consistency with this team. There's no continuity. And I don't know.
I mean, that's what happens when there's no consistency with your team leaders.
Right. You can't find a groove when you're like every single game. You have no idea whether or not Kawhi Leonard or Paul George is going to play. It's just a terrible pairing. It's a terrible situation, right? If you had one consistently healthy guy, you can maybe work with that. But when both guys are constantly in and out of the lineup, it's going to be a disaster.
My guy Tyler here. What's up, my man? Tyler, I'm so glad to have power again, man. Oh, yeah. My gosh, dude, that sucked, dude. It's like you don't realize what you have till it's gone. I mean, oh my gosh, couldn't run any projections yesterday. Missed a bunch of the games. All right. Anyways, how are you?
Your frozen dead body started to thaw out. Like,
it kind of stink up the place.
It just wasn't good for spread yesterday.
Wow. Okay. Well, JT Hayes will Venmo you right now for that comment. I know that he pays you by the comment. Tyler, let's talk about two things that happened in the NBA this weekend. Kevin Durant being hurt. We talked about the Nets. We were really high on the Nets. Things were finally coming together as a team. There was no drama. They were playing basketball. They had seemed to find some continuity with their lineups. This is huge in my mind. I mean, they were the team. I mean, they were looking like they had a chance to win the East.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, take down their best player. I mean, now they're probably middle of the pack team. Can't really win a championship, but they said it was only going to be.
It's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. Yeah, right?
I seen 2 to 3 weeks. So, I mean, he'll be all right. They went on that giant win streak right before this. Kind of like saves them in this spot where if they lose, say, 8 in a row, they're still towards the top of the East.
I don't think they'll lose 8 in a row, right?
No,
they went from being one of the best teams.
If they go
on like
a
Pacers or a Bulls, right, where they can win any night, but they can also get blown out.
Yeah, theoretically, if they just bottomed out and lost the next 8 in a row, they're still in contentions for the playoffs when he gets back.
Okay. All right. The Clippers, man. This has just been disappointing. We've been waiting for him to get fully healthy, and I know Paul George didn't play last night, but you're telling me Kawhi in that lineup can't beat the Hawks at home? And I mean, this is on a week full of disappointing performances. AP lambasted them on Friday's show, right? And they have not been good. What do you make of the Clippers in the situation they're in, Tyler?
I think that ship has sailed, Spread. I think it's finally over. Like those, I mean, maybe they put it together in the playoffs and those guys make a run, but I think the main high point for them is going to be that conference finals against Denver in the bubble. Or no, it wasn't even the conference finals. It was the conference semifinals where they went to Game 7 and they blew it. Yeah, I think that's going to be.
They were in the conference finals against the Suns, weren't they? Back in 21, I believe.
Oh yeah, with Paul George and no Kawhi.
Yeah.
They beat the Jazz. So that's the conference finals was their high point, was right there spread. I don't think they get much farther than that unless Kawhi puts his cape on and comes back for.
I just think he's got a degenerative knee condition. Degenerative means it's going to get worse, and it's not good right now. I just don't know how you can count on him. You have so much salary wrapped up. How much longer are those contracts?
If he can give you 2 good months of basketball, and they just so happen to be playoff basketball, I mean,
yeah, exactly. That's really
set,
all.
So,
but then he should have came back last year. I don't see why he sat out last year.
Maybe that knee needs a whole year to recover. Spread.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed in the Clippers. I mean, I guess I should be happy because as a Kings fan, their demise opens up a spot for us, right?
Sure does.
100%.
And first of all, we can't write them off, right? I mean, Boston. So first of all, Boston was starting to win. I've been using that example. At this point last year, they had put together a really good January. So it's just tough to write these teams off so early. But let's get into tonight. Unless you guys had anything else, did you have any other takeaways from the weekend, Tyler? I missed.
No, just that Aaron Rodgers stinks.
Well, that comes next. That comes next. That's talking touchdowns, buddy.
You just said weekend, so it's the first thing I keyed in on.
All right, well, that's fair. New Orleans Pelicans are +2 in Washington, taking on the Wizards, total of 228. Tyler, when I see the Pelicans are +2 against the Wizards, you know what that tells me? Fire up basketball monster. Brandon Ingram's out. CJ McCollum's in. Larry Nance probable. Bradley Beal's out. Johnny Davis is out. And for those who don't know, I didn't read off Zion Williamson because basketball monster won't put him on when they're ruled out for a significant amount of time. But Zion Williamson's also out for this game. If you've been an all NFL and now you're jumping back into the NBA streets. So Pelicans +2 here, Tyler. I ran some numbers this morning. Are you surprised to see these numbers?
A little bit. I mean, the way it's looking, you like the Washington side, and I don't think that's right because we talked about this on the Friday game. It's like they still have CJ McCollum. They still have a deep roster. They were in a spot where everyone was going to bet against them. They were +4.5. They covered. I believe they won that game. So now they're going to play Washington.
Let me give full disclosure here. I got up at 5:30 because I was worried that my power might get knocked out again tonight, and I would have to be on a run to get all my work done this morning. So I was like, remember I've been saying I'm going to, reconfigure the model a little bit. This is also my first day with new inputs. So
okay. So a little zazzle to the numbers I see, but
I'm not like they're not necessarily the same ones, but I felt like it was a good time. Like we didn't crush it this week. We weren't bad, but we didn't crush it. I said, okay, it's about time. I can do those little adjustments I wanted to do. But if you say that you think I got something wrong, I'm fine to go ahead and change it here. So you think that the Pelicans are going to win this game, right?
Yeah, I mean, the guards for Washington I don't think are stopping CJ McCollum. I think he has himself a great game right here. Joe Val should just be able to absolutely eat on this front court for Washington. And it's like Porzingis and Kuzma. Can they beat this Pelicans team? I think CJ is the best player on the floor. Trey Murphy's great here, too, in this spot. So I'll be on the Pelicans here as a dog.
All right. And that, it's funny. I was thinking about that as I was redoing it, right? You can't use projections perfectly, right? Because a projection would never, ever, ever tell you to take a dog of 5 points or more on the money line.
Nope.
But we know that happens all the time, right? So these just have to be a guide. JC, what do you think about the Pelicans taking on the Wizards?
Yeah, no, this is definitely a tough one just because of how the Pelicans have been playing with all these injuries. The Wizards are a really consistent team. They're not good, but they're consistent. And so just looking at the matchup, it's kind of tough. Numbers-wise, an injured Pelicans team match up really well with this Wizards team. So I think the spread is appropriately placed. I was leaning Wizards just because while McCollum probably is the best player on the floor, they still lost 4 of their last 5, but those losses came against good teams. Their one win was against a terrible team in the Rockets. So with the Wizards kind of being middle of the road, it could go either way. I got a bit of leniency towards the Wizards. However, I mean, my favorite play right now is McCollum's points props. It's hit 3 times in a row, 4 of the last 5. McCollum 25 plus points, -120, much easier play than trying to predict this game.
I fully agree there. That points prop's been money.
All right. Anything else on this game, Tyler?
No, that's pretty much it
Pelicans
for
took
me.
some money while we were talking. Should I get in on it right now?
We'll talk about it at the end of the show when we get closer, but
All right. They're taking money right now as we speak. Milwaukee Bucks are +1 in New York taking on the Knicks. Total is 221. Another one, Tyler. I think I'm a little surprised. I think they told me to take the Knicks. What the heck? No, I have the Bucks winning this game. How'd this move to +1? It was -1 when I did the playbook. Now, granted, that was 4 hours ago, but what news did we get here? Serge Ibaka's out, always.
Chris
Chris Middleton's out, always. RJ
and
Barrett's doubtful.
He's been out.
I like your call on the playbook right now spread. I mean, I think we just snap bet these overs when they're in the low 220s with the Knicks game.
Okay.
The Knicks, I mean, I get it. They play some defense. It's a Thibodeau team. But these scores have been going over for the Knicks so much. But I'm in this game right here. Love the over 221. We had Giannis in the media talking about, when we lose games, we're not worried. Now they get to visit the Garden with a clean injury report outside of a guy who's been hurt all year and a bench guy that plays like 6 minutes. I think they absolutely run the Knicks into the ground tonight.
So we should add the Bucks here. Can I bet that one now? You told me not to bet the Pelicans now.
What did AP call it before? A generational betting opportunity? I mean, Giannis is in the media talking. I think it's absolute smash spot tonight.
Yeah. Okay. I'm putting it on right now then.
Knicks are hot. They won 4 in a row, but they beat Toronto, San Antonio, a banged up Phoenix team, and Houston. The fact that they line did move, they were favored at one point, but catching the Bucks at -105 on the money line, that's a can't miss opportunity.
All right, I put that one in right now. JC, any props for this game?
No. So like Julius Randle's been carrying this team since Barrett's been out, but his props have been terrible. Like the books, I don't know why they were way smarter with his line than McCollum's. Like McCollum's is really
probably because way more people bet in New York than in New Orleans.
Well, sucker bets then because I bet on it like once, didn't even come close. So that's just a prop people might run to, and I'm completely advised staying away. And even the under is not a good move because he still could have a monster game. So no, nothing really popping off for me in the process.
I also wanted to, I didn't mean to cut you off there, JC, but another thing I think we should do with every NBA bet we like tonight, if it's a short favorite or a short underdog and we like them on the money line, just add Georgia's money line to it for a little extra value. They are going to dog walk TCU tonight.
You really think so?
Wow.
Yes.
I was thinking about throwing a dime on the TCU money line.
I don't think it's I just think the way to beat Georgia was, you've seen the way Alabama did it last year in the SEC championship games all through the air. You've seen what Ohio State tried to do. They tried to use all their wide receiving weapons just to stretch that defense out. They know the weak points is secondary. TCU has that one receiver who, he had a great game against Michigan, but they like to run the ball a lot. Good fucking luck running against some big boys against Georgia in the front.
That's true. What do you think about the spread?
13.5 is a lot. I mean, lean TCU, but I could see it being like 45-10 and nobody wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a value on the money line that I couldn't resist it. But I was thinking TCU spread, plus 13.5 was a smart move there.
Yeah. And
I don't count college basketball.
Yeah.
I don't count college football at all. I take picks from the sheet and I root for them, and I don't know who they are. I'm like, go blue if I'm rooting for Duke, right? If I take Georgia tonight, go red, right? I mean, I know there's a guy like Stetson Bennett, or sounds like a freaking. Doesn't that sound like an upscale clothing line?
It does.
Oh, I didn't go Calvin Klein. I went Stetson Bennett on this one.
It's wild that he's about to win 2 straight national championships and he has no draft value.
I mean, he stinks.
Not really. Hasn't it happened like a billion times before?
Not really.
Doesn't Alabama quarterbacks win all the time? They got no draft value.
Yeah, but they get drafted. They still go.
Yeah, like the AJ McCarrons and the McElroys, they still got 4th, 5th round picks. This kid's projected 7th round undrafted.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cowboy Cologne there.
Oh, God, I love it.
Wearing some Stetson Bennett before I head down to
buy it at JCPenney's.
Yeah. All right, are we ready to jump back on the NBA tip?
I guess.
Chicago Bulls plus 8.5 in Boston, taking on the Celtics. Total 235.5. Boston, a team that has been struggling lately, but Did they get back on track against the Mavericks? I take the L there. I had the Mavericks on Thursday. I thought it was a great opportunity for them to make a statement at home. The Celtics said, not so fast. This is our chance to rectify this terrible road trip. Now they're back at home. They're taking on a Bulls team that I talked about, kind of like Brooklyn. This is a tough team to handicap. A lot of these teams get really close to the projections. The Bulls don't. Like the Bulls, their average is what it is, but a lot of times it's way higher and a lot of times it's way lower. I think some of this is matchup based on how much pressure you can put on the middle. I think teams that can get to the rim, because Vukovic, what? That's why as a Kings fan, I worry about Sabonis too, although I think he's a little better. But if you have a center that can't block shots or just even deter people from getting layups, it's so hard to win in today's NBA. And I feel like that's the problem with Chicago. If you have a jump shooting team that doesn't take advantage of it, I think Chicago can beat you in a shootout. I think the Celtics will take advantage of it here, but they've set the line right. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm going to leave the side, and the total kind of intrigues me, 236. All the elite players on the floor have been shooting well for both teams. Tatum and Brown have been lighting it up since the Dallas game. I know it was their last game, but it doesn't take those guys long to find their footing. But Levine and DeRozan have been on fire. You could take Tatum 4+ threes, Jaylen Brown 4+ threes, and Levine 4+ threes. Put them all three together and get a 20-1 parlay.
Wow.
And we see a total of 236. These guys are going to fling the threes. Levine says the hoop's as wide as the ocean right now. The other guys are going to get their shots, so I don't mind sprinkling on that. The 236, I kind of like the over there. I think Boston hangs a big number, and I think Chicago kind of hangs around a little bit here. So not going to take Boston minus the 8.5, small lean to Chicago.
All right, you lean Chicago there, but I love the idea on getting those player props on the guys that are just on fire. And Levine's something that when these guys come back from knee injuries, don't write them off when they start slow. Both Levine and Jamal Murray have looked so much better, as the season's progressed. So something to keep in mind there coming off those big injuries. What do you think here when the Bulls take on the Celtics, JC?
Yeah, pretty much similar thought. The Bulls aren't a bit of a heater. I think they can cover 8.5. I don't think it's the best bet on the day, but if I had to make a pick, I'm definitely taking the Bulls with the points. Really like Tyler's prop. The one prop I was already eye on was Levine over 23.5. He's been on a tear, averaging 29 points over his last 6 games. Easy play there. And it's funny he mentioned over because that's something I was considering too. With Smart being out, do we think that kind of allows Chicago to score a few more points to help get us to 237?
I think so.
Yeah. So I would that's the way to approach this game. 8.5, too many points to go either way, in my opinion.
All right.
How do we feel about a Tatum over 5.5 assists here? I know he went triple-double last game. They're going to put another guard on the floor and say Derek White, but they're going to let Tatum set up the offense a lot. You're getting plus money on that 5.5. I think we might have something there.
Which one again? Which one is that again?
Yeah.
Tatum. His 5.5 assists. You got to think he plays basically point guard here, sets up the offense a lot, and just does what Smart does.
They can let Brogdon and White both set up the offense.
They will, but those guys could also just stand in the corner and shoot threes. They might want the ball in his hands more. You know what I mean? Get the ball to your star player. Don't have him standing in the corner. Let him set up the offense and run it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I would just counter that. I do think Brogdon is a good guy to run your offense. But what do you think, JC?
His assist numbers are all over the place. At plus money, it might be worth the risk. But looking at his last 4, 2, 10, 2, 6, 1, 4, 5.
It's sporadic. But I was playing it as with the Smart.
I got
you.
Do you think those assist numbers correlate to how much he gets doubled rather than who's actually bringing the ball up the floor?
Were they doubling him a lot in the Dallas game? I didn't watch much of it.
I don't know. It was hard to tell. It was over so soon. By the time I turned it on,
it was over.
I got home in the second quarter. And so at that point they weren't, but it didn't really seem like they had kind of maybe, I don't know about this game.
Well, right? they had Derek White's number also at plus money, and his is 4.5. So we don't like the Tatum one. Getting White a number shorter, even still at plus money, could be a look. There's no Brogdon props up yet, though, so you might have to wait for those.
Will there be Brogdon props or no?
I suspect it, seeing as though he's going to get an extra minutes here.
Okay. All right. Anything more on the Celtics and the Bulls?
That's it for me.
All right. Anything from you, JC?
No, we covered it.
All right. San Antonio Spurs are plus 11.5 in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies. Total is 237. Tyler, the Spurs are terrible, but this line reflects that. What do you think?
Injury report game. Gonna have to wait to give you much of anything on this.
Okay,
Adams
so go ahead and read
Adams
out.
questionable. Bain questionable. Brandon Clark questionable. Jaw questionable. On the other side, their main player, Keldon Johnson, questionable. So I can't really tell you what much to do in this game, not knowing who's going to play. If all the Memphis guys play, they should run them off the floor, but I really don't want to lay 11.5. I'd probably just play like a Memphis team total or something, or play it through Jaw, like a Jaw 30 plus and win.
Obviously, yeah, this is going to be tough to take a stand here, JC, but what are your early thoughts here? And kind of, do you have any idea on what news to expect?
Yeah, no, I mean, especially playing back-to-back. The Grizzlies hosted Utah last night. They've won 6 in a row. Historically, they clobbered this Spurs team. It's just too many points. Like, to me, this is just stay away. If it does come back with a clean injury report, you'll want to throw some money on the game. This Grizzlies should cover. Like, they just dominate. And that's the other thing about this Grizzlies team is they don't let up. So even if they get out to like a 12-point lead, they will continue to step on their throat. So you don't really have to worry about a backdoor cover as much with this Grizzlies team as you do some other teams. But like you said, with that injury report, just avoid this game. It's Monday night, way better things to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were talking about that football game. I guess it's a pretty big deal, huh? The Los Angeles Lakers are plus 10 in Denver taking on the Nuggets. The total is 242. Tyler, these Lakers totals can't be high enough.
They don't play a lick of defense.
And the pace is high.
I think the spread's too high, too.
I know, it sucks, dude.
Give me the Lakers.
Same thing with Friday night, dude. Why are they catching so many points? They've won 5 games in a row.
I still don't think they respect this team in the betting market. I don't think they think they're good. I think a lot of people are starting to come around, like myself. I think they look a lot better than what they've done the beginning of the year. I think they finally found something. I think they can keep this game very close and maybe even win it. I'm taking the Lakers plus 10. That's one of my favorite spots on the board.
I hate to hear that, but you're absolutely right. What do you think, JC? Is there
Yeah,
any way
I completely agree. Like, I saw this game.
Betting on the evil empire? I mean, this is like betting on Darth Vader to beat up like a little rebel. I mean, this is just terrible.
I hate the Lakers.
Beating up an Ewok tonight.
Yeah.
It was funny. I started diving into the numbers of this game before even looking at the spread, and I was really kind of on the fence about it. And I saw the double-digit spread, and I'm like, holy cow, you have to hammer the Lakers here.
They just announced too, Lakers star big man Anthony Davis will begin the ramp-up process to work towards a return this week.
Wow.
Okay. I don't know.
The last 2 times, so Lakers won the last 2 against the Nuggets with a point differential of 28 points. So you might even throw a nickel on the money line for the Lakers here.
I mean, they've been doing pretty well.
I think they could win this game, too. It's like outside of Jokic, which is a giant mismatch. Thomas Bryant's not a very good defender inside. Like, they have nobody that could stop LeBron on the perimeter either. So those two just might go right at each other all game. And then it's just these guards for Denver. Do they show up? Or does Russ become the best guard on the floor tonight? So,
and Denver has like no edge playing at home.
Yep.
What do you mean?
Their
They're 16-3 at home this year.
I take that back.
Okay, good.
They are 16-3 at home.
Yeah, they're 16-3 at home this year. All right. Anything more from this game? Do you guys have some props you're targeting?
Definitely LeBron's points prop. I mean, they can't, just like you said, they can't set the totals high enough. I don't think they can set his point total high enough. 31.5. There's nobody on the floor that can stop him.
I mean, we've been seeing 35s for some players.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is pretty generous, right? Like, they're putting Giannis when everyone's out. He's at 35. I've seen – who else is getting 35s?
Julius Randle had a 35 recently, I seen on FanDuel, which
Luka will get 35s, and Shea will get like 32.
32s, yeah.
10-1 on Bron to get a triple-double.
I don't hate that. I don't hate just playing him to score 40 tonight and getting that at 4-1. Taking the other two out. But What's Russ to get a double in this spot?
Double plus 105.
I like that too. Yeah, I like that because I think he could easily get in there. He might even triple double here too, because outside of Jokic, which he might not even see much of being on the second unit, he might just eat up all the boards, get the assist, and if these role players are hitting their shots, he's going to get the assist also. So
plus 750.
I love the Lakers in this spot. I know spread hates to hear that, but
I mean, I can't argue though. I mean, it's just like, what should this line be like? I would say like 6, like right around that foul number, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I just think, and you know what? I've been going through this as well, especially retinkering the model. How much do you?
I hope you guys got in on that 370 to 1 on LeBron to win the MVP too, because he's down to 110 to 1.
How much do you wait last
you can catch Luka?
All we need is what happened last year. How the path cleared for Jokic. Just let these guys start to fall. Down goes Durant. Down went Embiid. There's only a couple other guys up at the top in front of him. Lakers keep winning games, and you know he has the inside track because of who he is. If he gets there, he's going to get it.
Yeah, if he can carry this Lakers team to like a decent playoff spot, not like sneak in, but get like a 5-6 seed, I think you're right.
Yeah, it is not.
Spread's like it's not good.
I was so ready to just dance.
They're going to give him the MVP in the season. He sets the scoring points record and takes Kareem's record. It's all going to come right into.
We're getting the MVP though, most valuable beam. The Sacramento Kings are -6 tonight. Go ahead.
Sorry, what did you say you caught it at, Tyler?
370 to 1.
Holy crap. Okay, never mind. Yep, carry on. Go on. Let's hear about the beam spread. Let it rip.
So we're laying 6 tonight. We got Orlando. You know what sucks, Tyler? Every time we're a big favorite, we lose outright. This is 3 times now in the last month. Big favorite against Washington, 9 or 10. Can't remember. Lose outright. Big favorite against Charlotte that same week, 9.5 or something. Lose outright. Big favorite against the Los Angeles Lakers, Saturday night. Lose 136 to 134. Keep that score in mind if you're betting the Lakers under, by the way. 136 to 134. Now we face the Magic tonight, but let's be honest, this team has not done well as a favorite. Tyler, let's start with you.
It's going to be tough for me. I mean, Paulo's looked good. I know that a lot of people said he hit the rookie wall. Some of them guys just have little lulls in their schedule.
No, they didn't. What happened was he hit a usage wall because there was no point guard, so he was playing point forward. Yeah. Mel Fultz is back. Cole Anthony's back. Jalen Suggs isn't back as we speak, but he's been in and out of the lineup. That's why his production dropped, because he went from initiating the offense to being a part of the offense, and as a rookie, that's tough.
No, I agree. He's right back into his role. I think he's just going to feast in this spot, so I like his props in this matchup. Mm-hmm. As for the side, I mean, I think the Kings win the game. I think it's a lot closer than people expect, so if I had to bet the side, I would be on the +6. But that total, I mean, man, 237.5. Kind of want to lean under, but could see Sacramento's and Fox just running up and down the floor here. We know how bad the Magic are against guards defensively, so he could have a big day. Small lean to the Magic, but probably a stay away spot for me.
Yeah, I actually like the under here, even though it's the Kings. I mean, I don't know. I think the Magic might not be the best performance. They've been out west here for a little while, right? What are your thoughts, JC?
Spread, I was prepared to ride with you, man. They're lighting the beam. They'll get it by 6. And I actually had a leaning on the over as well.
Oh, really? Because let me know why you're on the over. My guess is because you're sorting for last 5 a lot heavier than I am.
Pretty much. Yeah. Like they're on also too, like Orlando, they can score. Like they're such a weird team. I mean, honestly, Orlando's kind of like the Kings last year, where they'll light up the scoreboard but still lose like 125 to 130. And looking at the matchup between these teams, granted, the last 2 games did see overtime. Yeah. So that kind of helped out that number. Not my favorite play here. I really like the Kings to cover. I just had to lean on the over versus the under, but you kind of talked me out.
Yeah, and it sucks. It's almost like when you do your projections, you're rooting for certain stuff, right? Like I'm rooting for every game to be over because it's like these overs have just been crushing. But what happened is, and I don't know the exact numbers, but I would posit that if you just did what the average total is right now, and you did that to say December 15th, that these totals are close to 5 points higher.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of reasons that I'm coming up 4 and under. And then it comes back to my other thing that I'm struggling with right now is how much do you weight last 5? And I swear that's like the biggest, it's like certain debates that will never be answered, right? I mean, you're going to be asking yourself this till you quit projecting scores. That's how I feel there. So props for tonight here, JC.
Yeah, it's one I keep going back to. I know that people are tired of hearing it, but Paolo over point totals over 22.5. He has been a dog since all these guys went down dealing with the injuries. He can't find a win for his team, but he's looking great in the box score.
All
right, Tyler, any props for this game?
The ones I was looking at were Paulo's props, his points and his rebounds. I don't really want to take his assists with the point guards back in the lineup. Mm-hmm. Also, like the Fox points here, I just think he runs up and down the floor against these Magic guards. But just to touch back on a different game real quick, because I'm looking through these head-to-head player props. Head-to-head rebounds in the Knicks-Bucks game, Giannis is minus half a rebound to lead Julius Randle in a head-to-head. Giannis has been grabbing 15, 20 boards a game the last 5 games. Randall has another big man on the floor with him. I know Giannis does too, but Lopez stands on the 3-point line. I think he can beat Randall by 1 rebound in this game pretty easily. That might be one of the easiest bets on the board in my eyes.
Giannis more rebounds than Randall?
Than Randall, yes. It's the spread on it, quote unquote, is minus half a rebound. So he legit has to win by 1 rebound. He grabs 11, Randall grabs 10, he wins.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. We're getting it at minus 115.
All right. Well, there you have it. We have gone through the whole slate. Smaller Monday slate than usual. My guess is because they knew the national championship game was on tonight.
Yep.
Yeah. So maybe one day we'll get to a world where we can actually, NBA can take a night off and freaking rest these guys so we don't have to watch Kevin Durant get injured and be disappointed to me. So we're not done yet, though. It's time for the best bets. What do you got for me? Tyler, wait, you got to go back. Can I bet the Pelicans or not, bro?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to win that game outright.
All right, I'm putting it in right now.
We're going head-to-head on that one, JC.
You say no?
Yeah, is this our head-to-head?
No, because I don't even love it. I want to go head-to-head.
It could be our head-to-head, JC. I'll get in front of it since he doesn't want to do it.
Love it.
All right, so go
California
one more time. I actually haven't sit here. I haven't hit place bet though. You said no, and I stopped myself.
I said yes. He said no.
I know. So tell me why.
I just think it's a good matchup for him. I think they're the better team. CJ McCollum's best player on the floor. They have the depth here to absorb. Brandon Ingram's been out for a month. I'm not worried about him as much. He's been out. They've been playing well without him. Who else is on the injury report you have to worry about? I know Zion's out, but they won a game without.
Really, if I'm making a Pelicans bet, I want Herb Jones and I want Alvarado in there.
They're in there. They're not even on the injury report.
Okay. JC, tell us why we should take the Wizards.
Pelicans lost 4 of their last 5, and Washington lost their last 2, but they won 5 games before that. It kind of feels like they might be putting something together here. And as long as they can contain CJ McCollum, they should be able to run away with this game. It's really well matched. I think it's going to be a close game, but I got to give a lean to the Wizards.
I understand where he's coming from, Spread. My one kickback to that is I'm going to always go back to this when it comes to the Wizards. They win games when all their guys are in. They lost Bradley Beal 2 games ago.
Okay, well then fair enough because they've lost their last 2. So
yeah,
go ahead.
That's how I try and play the Wizards game. Is when they're fully healthy, I like them. I'll bet them. When one of those guys is out, I just start to fade them.
All right. Well, I just want to give you guys, the viewers, 2 different perspectives on that game, and that's going to be a lot of fun. You guys are going head-to-head, and someone can victory lap that.
Yeah, well, somebody's getting bragging rights for next Monday.
So, But we're not done yet. Guys, we're here every day, Monday through Friday, as part of runpuresports.com. Head on over to runpuresports.com for the best in sports gambling and daily fantasy information. Join the movement. Start winning. We're crushing in DFS. We're crushing on the bet side. If you're betting any reasonable amount of money or you're entering, more than the $1, the 25 cents on DraftKings, it's going to be worth your investment. Come over, check it out. You will not be disappointed. Thumbs up. That's what we need. Hit that thumbs up. Keep us high in the rotation. That way we can get new people in here, right? Like, for example, on Friday, the chat was really helping us out with some of these props and diving through, because we're not, we're trying to keep track, but we're not up on every NFL's beat writer. So the guys in Houston, they know what's going on in Houston. The guys in Tampa Bay, they know what's going on in Tampa Bay, right? So the bigger the show gets, I think the better it gets. Hit the thumbs up. It's for me and it's for you. JC, best bet for the day, side total or prop?
Man, so many good ones out here, but I am gonna take give me Zach LaVine over 23.5.
All right, and Zach LaVine's been on fire. I love that because the idea is if his numbers based off his full season point total, that last month he's been blowing it out of the water, right? And we know that that's how they do it. They let the market decide, especially on these props. They just throw up. It's really close to the season total. When they take a bunch of money, they move it up during the day, or they just juice it so far that it's just unattractive. I hate when they do it. When they make that like minus 155 rather than moving it up a point, because that actually gets me off a bet more than it going up a point. Tyler, he likes Zach LaVine to go over. I think that's a good call. What's your best bet?
Yeah, love that prop on LaVine. I'm going to be taking the Lakers plus the 10. I think that spread is just extremely too high. I think they have the possibility to win the game outright. I think it should be like +6, +5.5. Give me the Lakers plus 10.
All right. And I'm going to go back to something that you touched on earlier in the show. It's something that we believe that I don't know about the market, but just the general public believes that's not really true anymore. And that's that the Knicks are a good defensive team because they have Thibodeau, because they were grinders that year that they were good. People think, oh, the Knicks play good defense. Actually, not really so much anymore. They're more the typical NBA team that wants to get up and down the floor and outscore you. Our guy, Coach Goodman, right? He would say because they have small guards, right? Small guards can't defend. But that's what happens when you run Jalen Brunson out there. So I like the over 221 in the Bucks and the Knicks. Tyler, do you want to give the people a parlay? We haven't done that for a while.
Yeah, we were talking about that one earlier with the guys on their threes. I made a little bit of a modification to it after we talked about it. We were going to go with the 4-4-4. Why not just go 5-4-3? Tatum to hit 5, LaVine to hit 4, Jaylen Brown to hit 3. We get that at 23-1. All their 3 props, all the ladders on FanDuel, the 5+, 4+, 3+.
All right, and of course that would be in the Discord. That's for Run Pure Bets members that are not able to watch the show live. You still get the plays. The playbook not only had the best bets that we gave out, but everything that I bet today has an RPB tag next to it on the playbook. So of course, you're getting full access to all these plays. Maybe you weren't sure like what I bet here in some of these games. That way you can be sure. Maybe by the time you watch the show or by the time you log in, the line's moved. Well, you can see my projection and then decide for yourself if there's still an edge. Oh, spread had a 3-point edge. Wait, the line's moved 2 points. He bet it. I'm not going to. Oh, spread had a 10-point edge on this under. The line moved 2 points. I'm still betting it because we still have an 8-point edge. And that's using the projections. And I think it also shows you how we use the projections as a guide, right? They're suggestions. But there's times we have a huge edge and we don't play it. And if you watch the show, you get an idea. Oh, well, hey, even though the number said this, we weren't going to play it because, for example, when last week, right, Tyler, the numbers were telling us to play the Lakers unders a lot. We're like, we're not playing a Lakers under.
Nope.
Right. But I'm not going to rehaul my whole model because one team's off. So the NBA playbook, I think, is a really fun tool that we've added for Run Pure Bets members. And I think that it's really been a lot of fun. So Tyler gave the parlay. Give it to him one more time, and then we'll log off.
Yeah, let me switch back over to FanDuel. It is Tatum to hit 5 threes, LaVine to hit 4 threes, Brown to hit 3 threes, and you're getting that at 23-1.
All right, Tyler, I think they're going to be raining from deep. But, hey, JC, we're able to use some of your words of wisdom as a birthday message over the weekend. So we're counting on you to come through again. The words of wisdom for the people before we log off.
Yeah, man, it's not really gambling when you never lose. And right now, I'm on a heater. JJ's tearing up college basketball. Our man D is killing soccer. So just make sure to run pure, because if you run pure, man, you ain't going to lose. So it ain't gambling.
All right. Right. No big if you don't lose. Run pure.